This movie's about Robbie Hart, played by Adam Sandler, who's a wedding singer singing for the Ridgefield Banquet Hall. Adam Sandler's singing at a wedding, and he's addressing the bride and the groom and calls up for the best man to make a speech, and we get a really drunken Steve Buscemi cameo.
Puerto Rico when we picked up those two, well, I guess they were prostitutes, but I don't remember paying.
Huh? I'm a person too, Pop, goddammit. I'm a person too.
You're a moron!
And Robbie, being the good fellow that he is, he manages to give this nice little speech to brighten everybody's mood. It's about love, it's about romance, and it's just really nice and sweet. After saving that wedding, Robbie Hart and his buddy Sammy are looking at the new waitress Julia, played by Drew Barrymore. She's the new girl in town and she don't know anybody. And Sammy wants to be the first one to bag her. You know, what all holeless men do.
So, how's your first night going, cuz? It's just that being at this wedding is making me realize that Glenn is never gonna set a date, and I've been wearing this ring for 2 years and I feel like an idiot.
And I understand that completely, because if I was getting engaged, I'd want to be married that next day. Tomorrow. Mañana. I need next day shipping on that wedding. So Julia's outside to think over her relationship, and Adam Sandler's being a pal and helping this little lightweight throw up some beer. The two get to talking, he makes her laugh and feel better, and by the end of the conversation, she's inviting him to be her wedding singer for when she gets married. So it's the next day, and we're at the wedding, and I'm not gonna lie, yo, Robbie Hart can plan a wedding. He's got this really nice landscape and this pretty garden. And I'm pretty sure he's gonna be in a lot of debt. There's no way you could afford this wedding on a wedding singer budget. And even more unfortunately, Linda isn't coming to the wedding, and it's just a super embarrassing moment. Like, imagine being stood up in front of all your friends, your family, God. So it's a couple days later, and Linda finally shows her face to explain her side of the story.
I'm not in love with Robbie now. I'm in love with Robbie 6 years ago. The point is, I woke up this morning and I realized I'm about to marry a wedding singer?
That is the most parasitic answer I've ever heard. Also, how did it take you 6 years to come to that conclusion? And how did it take your friends 6 years to only come to that conclusion? Holy shit. And if it was so important for him to be a success, you should have helped him out 6 years ago when he was at the peak of his fame, supposedly. If you want to be a trophy wife, be a good one. In the next scene, we meet Julia's boyfriend Glenn, played by Matthew Glave. And overall, this guy is just a douchebag. Like, he sets off so many red flags in just the first conversation. And Matthew Glave plays him perfectly. I mean, he's so smug and so condescending, and his facial expressions just scream annoyed at everything Julia says. So Adam Sandler's still pretty sad. He's listening to The Cure. He's just in a funk altogether. His boy Sammy comes over to console him and suggests he go back to work to maybe get over it. This only ends up backfiring because he's jealous at seeing all the happy couples, and he's heartbroken and depressed and lonely, and he ends up just making this big speech about how much he hates love and ruins the entire wedding that he was supposed to be singing at. Julia ends up finding him, and she tries to cheer him up by inviting him out to her engagement party, but he doesn't seem all about it. He's still big sad. So it's the night of the party, and Adam Sandler doesn't seem too pleased to be there. He's kind of anxious and doesn't really want to be around anybody. I get it. He's still a little sad, but you still got to get out there. But I don't know what his boy's wearing. I know that Michael Jackson Thriller jacket was like really popular back in the 80s, but like I really hope this is the last white guy I ever see in that jacket. So everybody starts getting introduced, and I mean, the conversation could have gone better.
Oh man, I heard what happened to you at your wedding. That was so cold.
Oh yeah, this dude's the last person that needs to be talking shit. You look like a cross between Peter Pettigrew and Tim Allen. You can't tell me that he doesn't look like a live action version of Alf.
Boom. Roasted.
It's the next day, and Adam Sandler singing at a bar mitzvah. He notices little Brucey from Matilda sitting alone. He wonders why, and the little boy tells him that no one wants to dance with him after asking them because they think he's a loser. And Adam Sandler wants to correct that. Adam Sandler devises a plan by having Drew Barrymore dance with the coolest, youngest stud in the room, and that's Matilda Boy.
May I have this dance?
For you and you alone, that's all.
What the fuck are you doing?
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
So Drew Barrymore's character manages to convince Adam Sandler to become her wedding planner, even though he's really reluctant to do so because my dude's broke as hell. I mean, there's only 4 Jewish families around to sing at bar mitzvahs, so maybe get a different job, bro. While in between finding a wedding singer, Adam Sandler lets it slip to Drew Barrymore that he actually wrote a song about Linda before and after they had broke up. So let's hear it. By the way, for copyright purposes, I'm only showing the first half.
So pure and true, but it all was bullshit.
Yeah, it was a little uneven, but it was pretty fire though. I wish I could show you guys more. Maybe you guys should just watch the movie and you can listen to the rest. So after pouring his heart out on stage, Julia and Robbie go out to get some ice cream and they get to talking about their relationship problems. On one end, Robbie's wondering about the little things that Linda never did for him while they were together. And on Julia's end, she can't really muster up a great answer when she's asked how she knew Glenn was the one, and only can really give some really vague answer.
I always just envisioned the right one being someone I could see myself growing old with.
So it's the next day and Robbie's going to drop off Julia's jacket, and he walks in at the perfect moment because Holly and Julia are talking about the amount of passion that a bride and groom should have for their first wedding kiss, and it just becomes more and more interesting.
God, there's gotta be a little tongue.
Well, maybe a little tongue. Not porno tongue. Church tongue.
Well, show me.
I like where this is going. Giggity, giggity, giggity.
So Robbie gets used as the example, and they have this nice little sweet kiss. Now they're both confused. Now they might actually like each other. You know what makes it worse is that I actually kind of have to defend Glenn in this sense, because up to this point, he still hasn't shown any signs of being a scumbag other than just being a little bit of a dick. Yeah, Julia, I mean, you kind of fucked up here. You get a red flag. What makes it even more odd is that Holly gets a little bit turned on from that whole situation and decides to ask Robbie out on a date. Julie is a little bit hesitant towards it, but she agrees to it anyways, and they decide to go on a double date. It's the night of the double date, and everybody's having a good time. David Bowie's playing in the background, everybody's drinking, everybody's talking. Glenn's uninterested, but you knew that already. As that goes on, Holly's trying her best to flirt with Robbie, and Robbie's doing his best to maintain composure, and Julia can only watch helplessly while she's drinking her shots, and it's a little uncomfortable, especially because she basically just straight up violates this man's mouth. Like, look at this shit.
Oh, we can't get chicks like that anymore. You know, we're too old.
Speak for yourself. I'm not too old. I can still get chicks like that.
Not that hot, though, right?
Gotten hotter.
10 years ago.
Tried 10 days ago.
Really?
Bro, this is your third interaction with Robbie. Why are you telling him that you're cheating on your fiance? After the double date ends, Robbie's walking Holly home, and she offers him the opportunity of a lifetime. Like, no joke, this only would happen in a movie.
I'm gonna make this really easy on you. You're gonna get laid.
So by some divine intervention, Robbie actually turns down Holly's proposal, and only in a movie would this happen, because in real life, let's be honest, we already know what would go down. So Holly puts 2 and 2 together and realizes that Robbie actually likes Julia. But she bursts his bubble and tells her that the only reason that Julia's even marrying Glenn is, well, he's got money. So the next day, Adam Sandler goes out to find a job to try to be the guy that Julia thinks he wants him to be. But that doesn't really work out, and he obviously doesn't get the job. When he gets home, Julia's out there waiting for him on his front porch, and they have a bit of an argument over why he's marrying Glenn, and yeah, she gets pissed off and storms off, and yeah, everybody's sad now.
Can't do that doing favors for people all the time, getting paid in meatballs.
But you're above all that material bullshit.
I don't know. We're living in a material world, and I am a material girl.
A little later, Robbie and Sammy are having a heart-to-heart while drinking at the bar. On one end, Adam Sandler's finally starting to come around on the idea that he should probably be a womanizer because it'll leave him less heartbroken. But Sammy comes in and tells him, yo, did you not see me get no hoes for this whole movie? It doesn't work.
Now I'm gonna be like you, man. I'm just gonna be with a different chick every night, and then I'll send them packing. What are you saying?
What I'm saying is all I really want is someone to hold me.
In the next scene, Julie's having a talk with her mother, and she finally admits to her mom that she might not be in love with Glenn after all. Her mother tries to reassure her that it's just cold feet and gives her this 1985 advice about marriage and love and just to suck it up because, well, he's rich. While Julia's getting reassured by her mother, Robbie's walking over to go see Julia to finally confess his love for her. And he takes a good hard look at her from the window but isn't able to do it and he bitches out. He walks back to the bar in complete sadness and he notices that Glenn's actually on his way back from a pre-bachelor party, bachelor party, I'm not too sure. Point is, he's about to go fuck some other hoes. Robbie gets upset and tells him, yo, just stop this cheating stuff. Glenn fires back and tells him, yo, just mind your business. She wants to sleep with me anyways. I'm gonna sleep with her, then sleep with Julia, and there's nothing you can do about it. Adam Sandler don't like that and decides he wants to throw hands with him. And you should really think this through because your only backup here is Sammy, who up to this point hasn't had any O's, so I can assure you he doesn't have any hands, and this old dude who's probably only here for the beer.
Okay, what are you doing?
I'm sorry. I used to be much stronger.
So after getting embarrassed by Glenn, Adam Sandler takes his walk of shame back home to his house, really drunk, really tired. It's been a long night for him. And it's only getting longer because Linda's out there waiting for him, telling him that she wants him to be together again. And Adam Sandler doesn't know how to take this and ends up just knocking out on his lawn. It's the next morning and Julia's walking over to Robbie's house to finally admit to Robbie how she feels about him. Unfortunately for her, Linda opens the door and tells her that they're back together again. When Adam Sandler finally wakes up and realizes what Linda did, he kicks her out for good, and she's finally out of his life forever.
Maybe we should talk about this when you're feeling better.
Hey, psycho. I'm not gonna feel better about this. It's over. Now, please get out of my Van Halen t-shirt before you jinx the band and they break up.
So it's the next day and it's Rosie's anniversary. Oh yeah, Rosie's this old lady that he's been teaching how to sing. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. He notices how happy they are even in their old age and he finally realizes that he has a thing for Julia. Unfortunately for him, Julia and Glenn already went to Las Vegas to go get married a day sooner.
Glenn just jumped a plane to Vegas.
What do you mean? They're getting married tomorrow.
So Adam Sandler books the next flight out to Las Vegas and he just so happens to be in the exact same plane that Glenn and Julia are on. He manages to fill in everybody on first class about his situation and they all devise a plan to help him get a moment with Julia so that he can finally admit his feelings to her. He's able to sing the song without any problems and overall the song is really well written. It's a little corny and a little cheesy, but Adam Sandler's voice brings it all together and it's a perfect song for this moment.
Need you, even let you hold the remote control. Yeah.
So they finally end up kissing and everything's good now and they end up getting married and living a nice little happily ever after. In the end, The Wedding Singer is still up there as one of Adam Sandler's better movies. Some pretty funny moments and some genuinely touching scenes. I could definitely see myself watching this either post-breakup or in the middle of a relationship with my significant other. But most importantly, you come out feeling really good at the end of this movie and I think that's what you really, really want out of it. So let me know what you guys think. Did you guys like The Wedding Singer? Did you hate it? Are you even a fan of Adam Sandler movies? Talk about it in the comments. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. And I hope to see you guys next time. Goodbye.